A sheriff's deputy has been arrested on a number of charges for some pretty serious and crazy behavior. 46-year-old Douglas Ford was a sheriff's deputy in Florida with the Osceola County Sheriff's Office. He has been charged with stalking his domestic partner through video surveillance, and he is also accused of hitting her, and he remains in jail. Reportedly, Douglas worked in the Veterans Outreach Services Division of the Sheriff's Office. He was arrested and charged on Tuesday with misdemeanor battery, felony aggravated stalking, domestic violence, and 10 counts of video surveillance by accessing a computer system without the authority to do so. The investigation into Douglas started on May 1st of this year. This was after an altercation took place in the parking lot of the Criminal Justice Academy of Osceola, which is where the victim works. The victim is not being named. According to records, the victim stated that she was riding back to the academy with a fellow lieutenant, and they were in the lieutenant's vehicle. Douglas was driving his agency-issued vehicle and reportedly saw her and then called her to tell her to pull over now. He then stated something along the lines of, "Pull over the car now, or I'm going to pit the car." And pitting, as you know, is a law enforcement maneuver where a police vehicle spins out the car it's pursuing. When they arrived to the academy, she confirmed the confrontation took place, another one. Later in the parking lot of the Justice Academy, an investigator watched a surveillance video that showed Douglas grab the victim's left wrist and arm. The investigator said that the victim then pulled her arm away and Douglas then hit her arm. It was also stated that the victim got several texts of surveillance photos from Douglas, and both were before and after the altercation that day, and at first she didn't perceive them as a threat, reportedly. This led detectives to conduct an audit on Douglas's use of cameras in early June of this year. They also searched his and the female victim's phones. Reportedly, there were numerous images and texts where Douglas told the victim he was watching her on the cameras. Detectives said that Douglas had been using the cameras between June 18th of last year, which also just so happens to be the day that he learned how to use the cameras, until May 3rd of this year. That's a long time. They stated that he had no law enforcement purpose to be watching those cameras. It was said that after this incident, I guess in the parking lot, the victim moved to a different location and turned off GPS tracking on her phone and vehicle. That's because she figured out Douglas was tracking her on those. A judge signed an arrest warrant for him on Tuesday, and that led to his arrest. He pled not guilty and waived an arraignment where he'd appear in court to hear the charges filed against him, and he is now waiting on a trial date. Now, the last I heard, he was still in jail, but that could have changed by now. His attorney did ask for a release on bond during an appearance before the judge, but the judge did not agree to do so. That was on Wednesday. And once he is released from jail, he is not to have any contact with the victim whatsoever. Just never really know who somebody is behind closed doors.